Question 1. In an agile project, which artifact provides a clear, shared understanding of what must be true for a product backlog item or increment to be considered complete and ready for release? A. Project charter. B. Requirements traceability matrix. C. Definition of done, DOD. D. Work breakdown structure, WBS. Answer: C. Definition of done, DOD. The definition of done, DOD, is a critical agile concept that outlines the quality standards and conditions that a product increment must meet for the team to consider it complete. It ensures transparency regarding what done means, fostering a shared understanding among the team and stakeholders, and ultimately contributes to the quality and potential release of the deliverable. For example, a DOD might specify that code must be reviewed, tested, and integrated. Always remember, the DOD helps ensure consistent quality and clarity for every increment delivered. Question 2. A project manager is reviewing performance data and notices a consistent trend of missed deadlines for deliverables in a predictive project. Which of the following activities is most appropriate for addressing this issue within the delivery performance domain? A. Developing a new risk register. B. Rebaselining the entire project schedule. C. Implementing corrective actions to improve process efficiency. D. Recruiting additional team members without prior assessment. Answer: C. Implementing corrective actions to improve process efficiency. When faced with consistent missed deadlines, the most effective approach within the delivery performance domain is to analyze the root causes and implement corrective actions aimed at improving the efficiency of the project's processes. This involves identifying bottlenecks or inefficiencies in how work is being executed, such as issues with workflows or resource allocation, and then making targeted adjustments. For instance, if a specific review process is slowing down delivery, the project manager might streamline that process. The goal is to optimize the way deliverables are produced, ensuring they are delivered on time and meet quality standards. Question 3. During an iteration review in an agile project, the project team demonstrates the completed features to stakeholders. What is the primary purpose of this activity? A. To obtain formal acceptance of the project scope. B. To gather feedback and facilitate stakeholder collaboration on the delivered increment. C. To update the project budget with actual costs. D. To reprioritize the entire product backlog. Answer: B. To gather feedback and facilitate stakeholder collaboration on the delivered increment. The primary purpose of an iteration review, or sprint review, in an agile project is to inspect the increment and gather feedback from stakeholders on the completed work. This direct interaction allows stakeholders to see what has been built, ask questions, and provide valuable input, which helps validate the product and ensures it aligns with their evolving needs. For example, if a new user interface element is demonstrated, users can immediately suggest improvements. Engaging stakeholders early and often like this is crucial for ensuring the product delivers true value. Question 4. A project team is developing a new software application. Before releasing a specific module, the team performs tests to ensure it meets the predefined criteria for functionality and performance. This activity falls under which process? A. Perform integrated change control. B. Validate scope. C. Control quality. D. Plan quality management. Answer: C. Control quality. The activity described, where a team performs tests to ensure deliverables meet specific criteria for functionality and performance, is an example of control quality. Control quality is focused on monitoring specific project results to determine whether they comply with relevant quality standards and identifying ways to eliminate causes of unsatisfactory performance. This is distinct from validate scope, which is about formal acceptance by the customer. For instance, testing a software module for bugs or performance issues before delivery is a direct application of quality control. Always remember, control quality is about ensuring the deliverables themselves meet defined quality standards. Question 5. In a predictive project, after a deliverable has been produced and verified for correctness, what is the next key step before it can be formally accepted by the customer? A. Updating the risk register. B. Performing quality assurance activities. C. Presenting the deliverable for formal acceptance in the validate scope process. D. Beginning the next project phase. Answer: C. Presenting the deliverable for formal acceptance in the validate scope process. Once a deliverable has been created and verified for correctness through quality control, the subsequent critical step is to present it to the customer or relevant stakeholders for their formal acceptance. This occurs within the validate scope process, where stakeholders inspect the deliverable and either accept it or request changes. For example, a completed report might be internally reviewed for accuracy, control quality, before being sent to the client for their sign-off, validate scope. This formal acceptance is crucial for moving towards project completion and ensuring the project meets customer expectations. Question 6. What is the primary goal of continuous integration, CI, in an agile delivery approach? A. To ensure all team members are cross-trained on all tasks. B. To merge code changes frequently, automate testing, and detect integration errors early. C. To continuously update the project's financial forecasts. D. To conduct daily stand-up meetings. Answer: B. To merge code changes frequently, automate testing, and detect integration errors early. The primary goal of continuous integration, CI, is to integrate code changes from multiple developers frequently, often multiple times a day, into a shared repository. This process is typically followed by automated builds and tests, which helps in detecting integration errors and defects early in the development cycle. For instance, if two developers modify related code, CI quickly identifies if their changes conflict, preventing larger integration problems later. This practice significantly improves delivery efficiency and quality by ensuring the codebase remains stable and functional. Question 7. A project team is using a Kanban board to manage its workflow. What does the "done" column on the Kanban board primarily represent in the context of the delivery performance domain? A. Tasks that are ready to be started. B. Tasks that have been approved by the project manager. C. Tasks that have met all the criteria defined as complete and are ready for delivery or review. D. Tasks that are currently in progress. Answer: C. Tasks that have met all the criteria defined as complete and are ready for delivery or review. In a Kanban system, the "done" column represents work items that have successfully completed all the steps in the team's workflow and have met the defined definition of done. This means the task is complete, potentially validated, and ready to be delivered to the customer or moved to the next stage, such as deployment. For example, a "done" user story on a Kanban board might signify that coding, testing, and documentation are all finished. It acts as a clear indicator of completed value, enabling effective tracking of progress and throughput. Question 8. In an agile project, what is the primary purpose of a product increment at the end of a sprint? A. To serve as a comprehensive project closure report. B. To be a potentially shippable, integrated, and valuable version of the product. C. To document all lessons learned throughout the sprint. D. To define the scope for the next project. Answer: B. To be a potentially shippable, integrated, and valuable version of the product. In an agile project, especially Scrum, the product increment produced at the end of a sprint is a potentially shippable, integrated, and valuable version of the product that embodies all the work completed in the current sprint and previous sprints. It must be in a usable state, regardless of whether the product owner decides to release it immediately. For instance, after a sprint, a new feature might be fully coded, tested, and integrated into the existing application, making it potentially shippable. This emphasis on a usable increment ensures continuous delivery of value and early feedback. Question 9. A project manager is analyzing various work performance data, including actual costs incurred, durations of tasks, and quality control measurements. What is the immediate output of processing this raw data? A. Work performance information. B. Work performance reports. C. Change requests. D. Project management plan updates. Answer: A. Work performance information. When raw work performance data, such as actual costs or task durations, is analyzed and contextualized, it transforms into work performance information. This information provides insights into the project's performance and forecasts. For example, knowing that a specific task took 10 hours, data, becomes information when compared to the planned 8 hours, indicating a 2-hour variance. This structured and analyzed information is then used to create work performance reports or to make decisions about the project's progress and potential issues. Question 10. A project team is nearing the end of a project. Which activity is crucial to ensure that the project's deliverables are transitioned smoothly to the operational team or the customer, ensuring ongoing benefits realization? A. Conducting a final risk assessment. B. Performing a project audit. C. Executing the project closure process, including handover and transition planning. D. Creating a new detailed schedule for future enhancements. Answer: C. Executing the project closure process, including handover and transition planning. As a project nears its end, the project closure process, specifically focusing on handover and transition planning, becomes crucial for ensuring that the project's deliverables are smoothly transferred to the operational team or the customer. This ensures that the benefits envisioned for the project can be realized and sustained after the project team disbands. For instance, if a new IT system is built, the handover would include training operations staff, providing documentation, and transferring support responsibilities. Effective handover prevents disruption and ensures continuity of value. Question 11. In a predictive project, after project deliverables are completed and verified internally, they are submitted to the customer for formal acceptance. What is the process name for obtaining this formal acceptance? A. Control quality. B. Manage quality. C. Validate scope. D. Close project or phase. Answer: C. Validate scope. The process of obtaining formal acceptance of the completed project deliverables from the customer or stakeholders is known as validate scope. This is where the customer inspects the deliverables and either accepts them, requests modifications, or formally rejects them based on the defined requirements. For example, a customer signing off on a completed construction phase is performing scope validation. It's a critical step to ensure that the project is indeed building the right product and meeting the customer's expectations. Question 12. During an agile project, the team regularly refines product backlog items. What is a key benefit of this activity for successful delivery? A. It ensures that the project manager approves all scope changes. B. It helps ensure backlog items are well understood, estimated, and ready for development, reducing delivery delays. C. It formalizes the procurement process for external resources. D. It determines the project's overall return on investment. Answer: B. It helps ensure backlog items are well understood, estimated, and ready for development, reducing delivery delays. Product backlog refinement is a continuous activity in agile projects where the product owner and the team add detail, estimates, and order to product backlog items. This ongoing process ensures that items are clear, concise, and ready for development when selected for a sprint. For instance, if a user story is unclear, refinement involves breaking it down and clarifying acceptance criteria. This proactive preparation minimizes ambiguities during development, leading to smoother delivery and fewer delays. Question 13. A project team discovers a critical defect in a deliverable during quality control testing. What is the most appropriate initial action for the project manager to take within the delivery performance domain? A. Immediately reassign all team members to other tasks. B. Log the defect, analyze its impact, and initiate the defect repair process. C. Terminate the project as quality cannot be guaranteed. D. Hide the defect from stakeholders until a solution is found. Answer: B. Log the defect, analyze its impact, and initiate the defect repair process. When a critical defect is identified during quality control testing, the most appropriate initial action is to formally log the defect, analyze its potential impact on the project and its deliverables, and then initiate the appropriate defect repair process. This systematic approach ensures that the problem is documented, understood, and addressed, rather than ignored or reacted to impulsively. For example, if a software bug prevents a core function from working, the team would log it, assess its severity, and then schedule its fix. Proper defect management is essential for maintaining product quality and ensuring successful delivery. Question 14. Which concept emphasizes delivering value incrementally and frequently, allowing for early feedback and adaptation throughout the project lifecycle? A. Waterfall methodology. B. Predictive lifecycle. C. Agile approach. D. Critical path method. Answer: C. Agile approach. The Agile approach emphasizes delivering value incrementally and frequently, typically through short iterations or sprints, to allow for early feedback and continuous adaptation throughout the project lifecycle. Unlike predictive methods that deliver the full product at the end, Agile focuses on releasing smaller, usable increments, enabling stakeholders to provide feedback and guide subsequent development. For example, an Agile team might release a basic working version of an app first, then add features in subsequent releases based on user feedback. This iterative delivery is a core tenet of Agile and improves the chances of delivering the right product. Question 15. A project manager is comparing actual performance against the project baseline. This activity is a key part of which group of processes? A. Planning processes. B. Initiating processes. C. Monitoring and controlling processes. D. Executing processes. Answer: C. Monitoring and controlling processes. Comparing actual project performance against the established baselines, scope, schedule, cost, etc., is a fundamental activity within the monitoring and controlling processes group. This involves tracking, reviewing, and regulating the progress and performance of the project, identifying any deviations from the plan, and initiating corrective or preventive actions as needed. For instance, looking at earned value data to see if the project is ahead or behind schedule is a monitoring and controlling activity. This continuous oversight is crucial for keeping the project on track and ensuring deliverables meet expectations. Question 16. What is the primary purpose of a definition of ready door in Agile development, particularly for product backlog items? A. To ensure all team members are available for the sprint. B. To establish criteria that an item must meet before it can be pulled into a sprint for development. C. To formally approve the project budget. D. To define the project's overall vision statement. Answer: B. To establish criteria that an item must meet before it can be pulled into a sprint for development. The definition of ready door establishes the criteria that a product backlog item must satisfy before the team can commit to working on it during a sprint. This ensures that the backlog items are sufficiently clear, understood, estimable, and actionable, preventing the team from starting work on poorly defined or vague requirements. For example, a door might state that a user story must have clear acceptance criteria and be small enough to fit within a single sprint. Having a door helps reduce uncertainty and improve the efficiency of delivery. Question 17. Which statement best describes progressive elaboration in the context of project scope? A. Fully defining the entire project scope up front and then strictly adhering to it. B. Continuously adding detail to the project plan and scope as the project progresses and more information becomes available. C. Changing the project scope frequently without proper authorization. D. Delaying scope definition until the project is almost complete. Answer: B. Continuously adding detail to the project plan and scope as the project progresses and more information becomes available. Progressive elaboration is the iterative process of increasing the level of detail in a project management plan and scope as more information and more accurate estimates become available. It acknowledges that not all details are known at the beginning of a project, especially in complex or long-term endeavors. For instance, in a predictive project, the high-level scope might be defined early, but detailed requirements for specific components are elaborated as the project progresses through phases. This approach allows for flexibility and refinement while still maintaining control. Question 18. A project team is regularly inspecting the outputs of their work to confirm that they meet the specified quality requirements. This activity is best described as A. Quality assurance. B. Quality planning. C. Quality control. D. Quality improvement. Answer: C. Quality control. The activity of regularly inspecting work outputs to confirm they meet specified quality requirements is known as quality control. This process involves monitoring specific project results to determine if they comply with relevant quality standards and identifying ways to eliminate causes of unsatisfactory performance. For example, a construction team checking that poured concrete meets strength specifications is performing quality control. Its focus is on the actual deliverables and ensuring their adherence to quality standards. Question 19. In a highly uncertain project environment, what approach to scope definition and delivery is generally preferred to maximize value and minimize waste? A. Fixed scope with detailed upfront planning. B. Rolling wave planning with adaptive or agile delivery. C. Deferring all scope decisions until the execution phase. D. Relying solely on historical data for scope definition. Answer: B. Rolling wave planning with adaptive or agile delivery. In highly uncertain project environments, a rolling wave planning approach combined with adaptive or agile delivery is generally preferred because it allows for continuous refinement of scope and plans as more information becomes available. Instead of defining everything up front, high-level elements are planned early, while detailed planning for near-term work is done just before it's executed. For example, building a novel product where user needs are still emerging benefits from frequent feedback loops and adjustments. This flexibility helps maximize value delivery and minimize waste by adapting to change. Question 20. What is the main purpose of a sprint retrospective in an agile project? A. To review the delivered product increment with stakeholders. B. To inspect how the team worked and identify improvements for future sprints. C. To re-estimate the remaining work in the product backlog. D. To formally close out the project phase. Answer: B. To inspect how the team worked and identify improvements for future sprints. The main purpose of a sprint retrospective is for the project team to inspect its own processes, tools, and interactions, and then identify and implement improvements for future sprints. It's a continuous improvement mechanism where the team reflects on what went well, what could be improved, and how to make those improvements actionable. For instance, a team might decide to improve their communication frequency based on a retrospective. This focus on process optimization helps the team deliver more effectively over time. Question 21. When a change request is approved and affects a deliverable, which project document is most likely to be updated to reflect the modified requirements or specifications? A. Project Charter. B. Stakeholder Register. C. Requirements Documentation. D. Risk Management Plan. Answer: C. Requirements Documentation. When an approved change request affects a deliverable, the requirements documentation is the most likely project document to be updated to reflect the modified requirements or specifications. This ensures that the team has the most current and accurate information on what needs to be delivered, and it maintains traceability between the requirements and the final product. For example, if a new feature is approved, its details would be added to the requirements. Keeping this documentation current is crucial for successful delivery and avoiding rework. Question 22. Which of the following is an example of work performance data, WPD? A. A report showing a project is 10% over budget. B. A forecast indicating project completion 2 weeks late. C. The actual number of hours worked on an activity. D. A recommendation to hire more resources. Answer: C. The actual number of hours worked on an activity. Work performance data, WPD, represents the raw observations and measurements collected during project execution. It's unprocessed and unanalyzed information. The actual number of hours worked on an activity is a direct, raw measurement. In contrast, reports or forecasts are examples of work performance information or work performance reports, which are derived from analyzing the raw data. Think of WPD as the raw ingredients before they're cooked into a meal. Question 23. In a predictive project, what is the importance of a detailed work breakdown structure, WBS, in the context of the delivery performance domain? A. It assigns individual team members to tasks. B. It helps in progressively elaborating the project scope into manageable deliverables and work packages. C. It identifies external risks to the project. D. It determines the project's communication channels. Answer: B. It helps in progressively elaborating the project scope into manageable deliverables and work packages. In a predictive project, a detailed work breakdown structure, WBS, is crucial in the delivery performance domain because it helps in progressively elaborating the total project scope into smaller, more manageable deliverables and work packages. This hierarchical decomposition provides a structured view of the project work, making it easier to plan, execute, and monitor the delivery of specific components. For example, a WBS for building a house would break down the project into foundations, walls, roof, etc., ensuring all work is accounted for. It's the foundation for defining what needs to be delivered. Question 24. A project manager uses a traceability matrix to link requirements to design components, code modules, and test cases. What is the primary benefit of using this matrix in the delivery performance domain? A. To identify potential new project risks. B. To ensure all approved requirements are delivered and validated. C. To determine the project's critical path. D. To manage project team conflicts. Answer: B. To ensure all approved requirements are delivered and validated. A requirements traceability matrix is a critical tool in the delivery performance domain because it helps ensure that all approved requirements are ultimately delivered and validated. By linking requirements to design, development, and testing artifacts, it provides a clear path for verification and helps confirm that no requirement is missed or misunderstood. For example, if a specific user story is mapped to a test case, the matrix helps confirm that the test case validates that exact story. This enhances quality and confidence in the final deliverables. Question 25. Which of the following best describes the outcome of the control quality process? A. Work performance data and forecasts. B. Accepted deliverables. C. Quality control measurements and validated changes. D. A revised project management plan. Answer: C. Quality control measurements and validated changes. The primary outcome of the control quality process includes quality control measurements, which are the results of quality control activities, and validated changes, meaning changes that have been inspected and confirmed as correctly implemented. While control quality contributes to accepted deliverables, the direct output of this process itself includes the measurements and verification of items. For example, after testing a component, the results of those tests, measurements, and confirmation that any fixes were applied correctly, validated changes, are the outputs. This ensures that the work is meeting defined quality standards.